Welcome to the Extra Pass podcast presented by Melbourne United. I'm your host, Ben Hopkins, joined as always by my co-host, Adam Ballinger. Balls, how are you?
Good, Ben. How are you?
I'm well.
What? It's kind of my calling card now.
Right.
You remember
nice.
that? I did it last one. Now I've done it again. He
do
thought I
remember
wasn't
that.
going to do it.
Gotcha.
Do you remember those commercials?
Yep.
Yeah, he's old enough.
Yeah, it was not of my era.
No, it was like
hear there
90.
were
It was like 90.
A few people liked it. My brother enjoyed it. He messaged me afterwards. He was like, make sure Balls does it every
That
episode.
was for those few people. That was for those people out there.
Well, one person that clearly enjoyed it, our guest today, returning to the podcast, Dave Barlow. DB, how are you?
Going well, thanks. How are you doing?
Oh, always well, and especially always well coming off a big comeback win. I mean, we have to just get straight into it. It was a roller coaster of a game, obviously a difficult start to the game, difficult first half, and then just a huge turnaround in that second. Take us through it from the coach's perspective.
Yes, so definitely a bit of a frustrating first half. Just kind of dropped the ball in a couple of areas that we really should have been better at, I think. Probably didn't stick to the game plan as well as what we would have liked, I think, especially on the defensive end. Offensively, we weren't great, but there were some positive signs. I think we had a lot of good looks that didn't go in, and shots that we would have been happy to take every day. So there were some things just to clean up at halftime, and what a remarkable turnaround. Changed the game, changed our energy, our effort, our commitment to kind of who we are. Like I said, in particular on the defensive end, and shots started to fall, and amazing crowd, amazing atmosphere. Super fun to be a part of.
Yeah, you talk about, I guess, going away from the game plan on the defensive end, but also it seemed like offensively, Sydney offensively for us, Sydney played a unique defense in terms of the NBL where they just switch everything. How much does that sort of take you out of your game plan, I guess, when you sort of see mismatches out there and you try to take advantage, but it maybe gets you out of your sets?
I wouldn't say it's unique. I think switching is becoming more prevalent. I mean, it's obviously always been there, but they've committed to it pretty well, I guess. By well, I mean, consistently and shown that to be kind of, let's say, their home base at this stage. So obviously we tried to prepare as best we could for that, and we had certain strategies in play and certain plays to go at, and different things to consider, spacing, ball movement, screening angles, etc. To be honest, maybe they matched up in a way that we probably weren't expecting at the start of the game, and maybe we got a bit clunky trying to exploit those matchups. But like I said, we had a lot of really, really good shots, and that wasn't our problem in the first half. Like, I can't remember what the score was. They had a lot of points. What did we have? Can you remember?
I think it was
53
at halftime.
38?
Yes, correct.
53-38.
Yes.
Like, we missed some really good shots. So we had we easily could have had 50 points. So although we weren't great offensively, like, you could look back at many possessions and say, what are we doing here? We're very poor. But like I said, I don't think that was the main issue.
And you talk about maybe not capitalizing on those opportunities or missing opportunities, and probably should have had more points in the first half. The second half was just a scoring explosion. 67 points in 20 minutes is a lot, especially for a team like ours that this season haven't put up as huge a scores as have in previous years. But what did you see in the second half in terms of contributors from everywhere and people really capitalizing on their opportunities?
I don't want to harp on it, but I just think we played better defense, which created more fast break opportunities, put more pace in the game, opened up, different things, and that combined with shot making. Like, we started to make shots, made probably the easy shots that we missed in the first half, and obviously, like, CG was cooking. That's always going to help the scoreboard tick over. Other guys stepped in and made some big plays, hit big shots. Like, LT hit 2, Flynn hit a couple. Like, and yeah, I think just a combination of those things. Like, I think we can be a potent offensive team. Like, we have the talent, obviously, to do that, and a million variables at play and pace of the game, the opponent's strategy, et cetera. And like, bottom line is we're trying to win a game. We're not trying to put points on the board. And, it just so happened that in that half, like I said, the pace of the game and the strategy of the opponent and we just started to make shots, and many things go into that for sure.
Yeah, the feedback from my dad was first half we were terrible, and Chris Goulding's very good. He watched the game. My parents are out here. Shout out to Ken and Donna Ballinger. We watched the game from home. He was very impressed, but he said the first half was
You couldn't get him a ticket?
Oh, not for this game. I think the next game we'll get him a ticket. I asked, but they said no. They said no. They just said get to work. They said shut your mouth and keep lifting things. But no, he watched it. I mean, he's obviously seen a lot of NBL, but that second half was something special.
Yeah, and we talk about the second half. You talked about CG cooking and just the shot making. It's something that you two have obviously seen up close and personal for a very long time. I feel like we could spend the whole podcast just talking about CG's game and CG's performances across this season, but 35 points, 8 3-pointers. Can you take me through what it's like to see one of those games where Chris has just got his eye in and there's seemingly no stopping him because he has 5 threes in the first half. He doesn't hit any in the third quarter, but then with us making a run and the game sort of in the balance, he comes out and knocks in 3 threes in, I think, 2.5 minutes to close the game. What was it like from the sideline, just seeing someone who you've been alongside with for so long have a performance like that?
It was awesome to watch. It was great fun, and the crowd got around him and around us. And sometimes you kind of just like, I sit there on the bench and I'm like, damn, that's so impressive, like super impressive, and how bloody good. And you just add 3 plus 3 plus 3. It didn't seem to me, you just said he hit 5 in the first and didn't hit another 3 until it felt like it was just a constant kind of, he was putting constant pressure on them to kind of, guard him, stay with him, be fearful of him in wherever he was on the court. And the action that we went to at the end of the game and his effectiveness in it and the way everyone kind of, played around him, kind of just, it was awesome to watch, and it definitely made it feel to me like he was unstoppable. What's it like? I'm like, maybe I've just like come to expect it, like that's just what he does. He's a professional. He goes about his business in a really admirable way. He's ultra talented, and it's like old man Ken said, he's very, very good at basketball.
Very, very good. He knows his ball.
He's really good.
Observer.
He knows his ball.
But it's great fun to be a part of, and being out there with him is great fun. Watching from the sidelines is brilliant, and having the crowd like that, and being part of that big comeback against the top 2 teams going at it, kind of all came together to make it like a really, really fun night.
You use the word fear from the opposition, just of the threat he is, especially when he's had a first half like he had where he hits 5 threes. Can both of you talk a bit about, or can you sort of give me some insight what it's like to play with a guy like that and how much that opens everything up for everyone else? Because obviously Chris has 35, but there were contributors everywhere. LT has 18, Joe has 17, Flynn's making shots, Shilly's getting to the basket. How much does having the fear of a shooter like Chris just open things up for everyone else?
You want me to go? I'll go first, and then Dave will say it better than me. But like you said, is the fear. It's the constant threat of like he's kind of like a magnet to the defense, and it's not just impressive what he's doing, but also it's doubly impressive considering before the game the scout is do not let him get open from 3. He'll shoot from anywhere. Don't let him shoot, and he's still making all those tough shots. It's not like they're spot up kick out 3s where he's open. But yeah, I mean, it's just a constant threat. So it's not just him being able to get hit the assist from his own pass, but he's getting assists because of the defense he's drawing, and other guys are more open and able to have a good game just because of kind of the demand for the defense to always be where he is. Dave?
I think you nailed that one, mate. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think he's a big time asset. Obviously, if he's got the ball in his hands and he's making plays for himself or others, he's a brilliant and probably underrated playmaker, very smart player, very gifted passer. But when off ball, talk about the spacing that he provides and essentially taking his man out of the equation and making them probably poorly principled defenders because of the threat that he is and the fear that they have that he's going to get open and shoot a shot. They essentially take themselves out of the picture. So he's a really, really good player and underrated in areas other than putting the ball in the hole, you know?
Now I want to have a little rant here because I got 2 elite shooters next to me, and there's obviously been, off the back of Chris's play, some MVP talk and people have sort of really lifted up his performance this year. And the stupidest, in my opinion, narrative that I've seen are people coming out and saying like, oh, well, he shoots over 10 threes a game. Of course, like when you shoot that many threes, they're bound to go in, you know, that's why he's hitting so many threes. So, that doesn't matter, or that diminishes his performances. I got 2 shooters next to me.
Who's saying that?
Just, it's as a marketing and media person, I have to spend a lot of time looking at what silly people say online. And that is, a lot of silly people are saying that online, and it makes me grumpy. And I just want to get the perspective and let the silly people online hear from 2 elite shooters just why that's a really stupid narrative.
We're not going to spend time. It's ridiculous. He's a world-class shooter. Like to say best shooter in the world, whatever, like you can't say that, but come into the gym and watch him shoot. He's next level good. To someone to say, oh, he only gets them in because he shoots a lot. I don't want to spend time. That's an absurd statement. MVP talk, I think, each to their own in like the parameters that decide the MVP. Who scores the most points, who has the best numbers, for me, I've always appreciated best player on the best team, right? So right now, especially after the last couple of games, given my preference for that philosophy, it'd be like, well, definitely front runner right there. What's going to hold him back? Well, I'd like to say we got a lot of good players on our team, and as the season stretches on, the brilliant performances would be great. They get shared around, and CG would be stoked with that. And we got on to win the championship, and that's that's goal number 1. But I would hope that he would definitely be in the conversation right now.
Well, yeah, he certainly is. And I want to talk about another person that's put together good performances and is one of those talents that has been on this team, in Rob Lowe. So he played his last game for us during this time, and he's headed back to New Zealand. Can you talk about the impact that Rob's had coming in? He obviously came in as the nominated replacement player while Joe was out, and has spent time in the lineup while Delly and Ian and Luke were out. Talk about his impact, because we had him on a couple of weeks ago. He's just a bundle of joy, and it seems like everyone just gets around him, and he's just someone that brings people together.
Yeah, he's great. Like for starters, he's really good at basketball. Like, we're lucky to have a bunch. Like we talk about CG, obviously elite at basketball, and like you go down the list of our roster and be like, wow, that guy's really good at basketball. And Rob definitely falls into that category. A skill set that's you can't find like so easily. Like guy that's 6'11", big, strong, super smart, skillful shooter, like great defender in kind of whatever coverage you want to try to execute, and commitment to game plan, can kind of just plug him in and do whatever you want. He'll do whatever you ask of him. So there's that. Like, how good. We've been very lucky to have him, I think. Possibly more importantly, like you say, like he's an awesome guy, and he's fit in so brilliantly. We've had some time. We knew Rob's time was coming to an end. He had to get back to, as we know, young family and another child on the way. And in one of the discussions, I think CG mentioned, like, man, he's been here. Like, how long's he been here? A couple of months, but it feels like he's been here. Feels like he's been here way longer, just because the way he fit in so perfectly. Like you said, everyone got around him. Brilliant teammate. Great guy to have. In addition, obviously, to being just like really good at basketball.
Yeah, and I think there was a really special moment at the end of the game last night when the boys are having their huddle on the court after the win, and Chris is coming off a huge game, and LT's had a great game, but the focus in that huddle was just Chris bringing in Rob and everyone getting around him, and there were just massive smiles everywhere. So I feel like having that camaraderie, that's something that we talked about a bit with Chansey last week, just having the camaraderie within the team where everyone is just so happy for everyone else's success is so important in putting together a strong performance and a great season.
For sure. Try to do your best to recruit and bring in great people as well as obviously good basketball players. And I think the club's done a really good job in that regard this season. And not to say anything would change if things weren't going our way, but just so happens we're like 10-2 and that can obviously, it's great. That's great. I don't think I've ever been 10-2 in my career. And Rob, we were talking about it last night. Like, he missed one of the games we lost. I don't think he was playing.
No, the Perth game he did not play because that was the first game we were fully
healthy, right?
For 47 seconds.
Yeah, right. So Rob's 10-1 in the games he's played, and we, in preseason, I think we went up to the Blitz. We went 3-0. So Rob's had a hell of a run here at Melbourne United.
Rob's big time.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you get the feeling like the camaraderie, like you said, it's easy to get along when you're winning and everything's going well. But with the team and you see them around, you get the feeling like even if, not saying it's going to happen, I don't think it will, but you go on a 3-game skid, it's not like the team's going to crumble. Like, these guys are close. They like each other and they like playing for each other. So it's fun to watch from afar for sure.
Absolutely.
Bang.
There we go. Just in sync. Here we go. Well, we've broken down last night's game. We're going to get to a break, and then we're going to get to the return of a segment that we debuted last week. It's their MU IQ test.
Want to stay up to date with everything happening in Melbourne United? Download the Melbourne United app today. Filled with videos, audio and articles about your favourite team, it's the one-stop shop for everything Melbourne United. Download the Melbourne United app via the App Store on iOS or the Google Play Store on Android.
And we're back on the Extra Pass podcast, and it's time for the return. 2 weeks in a row, very excited. It's the MU IQ test. So the coaches are 1-0, so a lot of pressure on you, Barlow. You got to keep the streak going.
This quiz is culturally biased. Have you ever seen Blue Chips, the movie?
I have seen.
Neon Bordeaux. He says this quiz is culturally biased because I am not as tapped in as the coaches, obviously, to the basketball and the history. Just want to put that out there.
Still, you're around this club. You should know these things.
I'm just giving myself like an excuse on a way out if I'm not very good.
Well, 5 questions. Buzz in with your name. Play along from home or wherever you're listening. Okay, question 1. Out of his 12 games this season, how many games has Chris hit less than 4 3-pointers?
Balls. 4.
Incorrect.
Do I get a shot?
You have a shot.
I don't know the answer. What? Sorry, say it again. Less than 4.
So how many games this season, he's played 12, has Chris hit less than 4 threes?
5.
Incorrect. It's 2.
Jeez.
2.
How good.
2 with less than
that's
4.
impressive.
That's amazing.
It is a lot.
Yeah.
All right, question 2. It's all tied up, 0-0. So building off the United Kings rivalry that we saw on the weekend, can you name 3 players that have played for both Melbourne United and the Sydney Kings?
Barlow. Moller. Casper Ware. And myself.
I was
Correct.
going to say, you got one with ringing in your name. He was already an answer.
You could have rung in and said Barlow.
No, but I would have had to say my own name first.
Why? Oh, right.
Yeah.
Well, no, you didn't play for United.
You have to ring in with your name.
Oh,
so I
yeah.
had to say my name, but he rang in with Barlow and already got one right. So I said culturally biased. That one shouldn't count.
Well, I know-
Bordeaux.
All I know is you're losing balls. It's 1-0. All right, question 3. Luke Travers finished the game with 18 points last night. How many of those points did he score in the second half?
Barlow. All of them.
Correct. All
Did he
18
really?
in the second
Man,
half.
he's fun to watch, but he has no reaction to anything whatsoever. It's like he does amazing things and he's just deadpan all the time.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, nothing wrong with
Nothing
that,
wrong
I
with
guess,
that.
but every now and then I just let's get a fist pump or something.
Stone cold killer.
Yeah, he is stone cold.
All right, 2-0. You need to get both of these right.
I mean, okay, I don't like my chances, but here we
They're
go.
both multiple choice questions, if that helps.
Okay. Probably not.
So question
Didn't help on my test when I was growing up.
Question 4, multiple choice. Chris Goulding is averaging 4.3 made 3-pointers a game this season. Who was the last person to average as many made threes per game, as many or more?
For United?
No, just in the league.
Balls.
So Well, it's multiple choice, and I haven't given you the answers.
No, let him go. You got to say.
John, really?
No, go on. Multiple choice.
I'll let him have another go. You're up 2-0. No, okay. So here, A, Andrew Gaze, B, Shane Heal, C, John Roberson.
Andrew Gaze. I don't know.
Andrew Gaze is correct.
Okay, well, I should have guessed him. He's the godfather of the game here. I should have said him first anyways. That's kind of, I got 2 chances at that, but I'll take it. It's 2-1. Thanks, Dave.
There's a big asterisk. If he wins this, it's got an asterisk next to it.
Well, if he gets this one right, it goes to overtime.
Overtime,
There is
great.
an overtime question. All right, question 5. Another multiple choice question. Campbell Blogg scored his first career points
Barlow.
on...
Go ahead. That's the game. Like, what? That's what we're doing.
Good strategy. Good strategy. I'll take it. Read the rest of it. Read the rest of it.
Campbell Blogg scored his first career points on the weekend. However, he's not the youngest person to get a bucket in United colours. Who is the youngest? A, Sam Short. B, Ario Hookporty. C, David Aquera.
Jeez, good one. That's tough.
I need an answer.
Jeez, mate.
Well,
Calm down.
You've had 15 minutes. You buzzed in.
Aquera.
Congratulations, David Barlow. You are the winner of the MUIQ test.
Give us the overtime question.
The overtime question was closest to the pin, so you both get a go.
Yep.
How many points is Chris Goulding averaging across his last 4 games?
Nice. Go ahead.
26.
27.
28.5.
Yes.
Congrats. The audience was the winner on that one. Congratulations.
Well, we didn't have a prize last week, but we did joke about maybe because we
protein
talked.
bar or something?
Well, we got a lot of them.
whole box.
Barlow doesn't need any more protein bars. He's
No,
already
but-
about to burst out of that shirt.
He does because that's why he looks like that. He eats a lot of protein bars.
No, but we joked last week that because we talk so much about CDs, we could get
Let's get a prize.
a prize CD.
Would have tried
from,
harder if I knew that.
Well,
Here we
Barlow,
go.
congratulations. You have won. Oh, I got to find it. Pearl Jam 10.
That's a great
CD.
That's an incredible gift.
Check this relic. It's a collector's item.
It is.
And it's got the broken case too. Like all
Yeah, that's
you
a
don't
real
know.
one.
You probably don't know.
I've got
But if you
that.
didn't have it,
I
if you had a
have that.
CD case, it was going to be broken.
Yeah.
I got a lot of
They don't last
CDs.
that
We
long.
talk about this. I have a lot of CDs.
This is cool. You know what it makes me think of? Brett Wheeler. Brett Wheeler, brilliant person, brilliant teammate. And he loved Pearl Jam.
You know,
So shout out to Wheels.
Shout out
But
to him.
Balls, you know
You know
what?
who
I
else?
don't have a CD player. Like
No,
if
I
you
already
want
have
this,
that.
No,
You
you
have
have
it.
two, man.
No,
you
this
have
is-
two now.
That's a special edition with
exactly.
European. It's a special European
It's a
edition. it
European
seems.
version. Extra 3 tracks.
Yeah,
I already
you don't
have
have
this.
that one.
Yeah, dude.
3
Not
tracks extra.
I don't have the European version, but I want you to have it, Dave. This is to get yourself a CD player. Now, some Pearl Jam behind the scenes things. Remember Ben Pepper? Do you remember Ben Pepper?
Absolutely.
Absolutely huge Pearl Jam fan. Great,
Right.
hilarious guy. One of the funniest guys I've ever known. Now, even more Pearl Jam stuff. This is probably for another pod. Eddie Vedder threw me an alley-oop.
Get out.
Really?
I swear. Do we got time? Or should we?
We got
We got-
time.
we got
Come
time.
on, bro.
Barlow's got nothing going on when it comes to Eddie Vedder stories.
All right, quick version. My first year of college, I was there early in the summer working out with the team.
Just a hard
Pearl
worker.
Jam. Yeah, Pearl Jam was coming in to perform in the Breslin Center, which is where we played. They got in touch with the coaches and asked if anyone was around to play like basketball before their performance, because Eddie Vedder liked basketball and so did the guitar player. You know his name?
I do not.
Used to play in MTV Rock and Jock games. He's actually pretty good. So we had 3 managers, me and another player, Jason Klein, just showed up, played 3-on-3. Eddie Vedder was on my team. He threw me an alley-oop. I caught it and dunked it, and he gave me a high five, and he was like, "Man, that was awesome. That was so cool." Eddie Vedder told me how cool it was. He was super. They were just really cool guys. He wore the same Jordans in like flannel shirt and jean shorts for the game that he did for the concert that night.
Well.
He's just a normal guy.
What Jordans was he wearing?
I think in my head there were the 6s, the infrared 6s.
wow.
That's
Wow.
in my
Those
head,
are big
but
time.
it was a while ago.
I was picturing 5s.
Yeah, I mean,
Who knows?
yeah, you're right. And
You.
I didn't have a cell phone then, so there's
Right.
no pictures.
Can we contact Eddie Vedder and see if you remember?
Get
That would
Eddie
be
Vedder on the
amazing.
pod? Get him on the pod. He
Get
probably
Eddie on the
remembers
pod.
it. Anyways, but we sat on the stage for the performance, and it was cool.
Well,
really
you just got an invite because you played basketball with him.
He said, and you can hang out with us after the show too.
Did you hang out with him?
No,
after
they
the show?
weren't doing anything. But we sat with the guitars on the stage. So did you know that was going to come from this?
No, obviously
awesome.
not. Was Eddie Vedder good at basketball?
No, he was not good at basketball, but great guy. The guitar player was. I can't think of his name right now. But there's people out there screaming into their
All the massive Pearl Jam fans.
Yeah.
That is an interesting Venn diagram. That people who listen to the extra pass and
they're
massive Pearl Jam fans.
You know what a quiz for you. Do you know what their first band was called? But Pearl Jam was called before Pearl Jam.
I don't.
It was called 10. Do you know why it was called 10? Do you know why this is called 10?
Because their first band was called 10.
No, their favorite player was Mookie Blaylock.
Oh, really?
Yeah, actually they were called Mookie Blaylock or something. He's number 10. That's why they called this album 10. Jeez. I told you I know a lot, just not a whole lot about United and basketball.
So we've lost all the listeners.
Oh, yeah.
Whoever's left. I don't know.
Whoever's left.
No, people like it. Someone told me at the game, someone told me their first CD because they listened to the pod. So write in about your CD stories.
Wherever you are at the next home game, track down balls and
Yeah.
scream your first CD.
I'm there. Yeah.
Well, that was a rousing success, another rousing success. I want to finish on a bit of basketball with you, Barlow. Heading into the FIBA break, it's a time, where the boys get a little bit of time off. They can sort of head away or, briefly, but still going to be working on the game and focusing on this second 2/3 of the season. What are the main focuses within this coaching group heading into the second 2/3 of the season?
Probably be like health. Probably be a part of it. Everyone has had a bit of a chance to get over any sort of injuries that people are carrying. Maybe ability to get like a intra-club game in to just keep those game reps ticking over. And that'll be the first week. The second week it'll be back to business, preparing for what comes next. So yeah, like you mentioned, a chance to get away. Maybe there'll be a window, like a double day off, for example. That's not super common during the year, but during those FIBA breaks, you can get maybe Saturday, Sunday off and get healthy, still compete, and then get back into the prep the week after.
And you talk about the intra-club scrimmage. Dino said last time he was on that one thing that is coming up is the Melbourne United cricket game.
Right.
Can you talk me through, one, your skills as a cricket player,
Yep.
and two, who you're expecting the most from?
I'm not great, unfortunately. I think everyone would probably attest to that. I'm not the worst. It's like like overseas guys come in and try to play cricket, and
Try to play
at
baseball.
least I've got them covered. Yeah, they do tend to throw, like go and bowl and throw.
Yeah.
And Dino oftentimes is the umpire. He lets that go a little bit.
Much to your dismay, or
Well,
you're just trying to play pure cricket?
trying my best to play pure cricket. And yeah, it's not super pretty, but hey, I try my best, and who's going to be good? I'm not sure. I don't know. I feel like guys like I reckon Newley might be good. I reckon Delhi might be good. Chile, like the New Zealanders, they're good too. So CG might be all right. Yeah, I don't know.
Who are you not, apart from Ian, because it's not a sport for Americans?
Who am I not afraid of?
Yes.
Well, I think Ian's a pick-on guy, like
Ariel
for
too.
sure, and Ari.
Yeah,
Ari's
the non-Australians.
it's like, yeah, they don't know about cricket.
Just first bounces, just at his head.
Well, I just don't have that. I don't have the ability to
to
do all
control
that.
it.
Yeah.
It goes where it goes.
Yeah. Hope for the best.
Well, Barlow, we really appreciate you coming in after a massive win. It was great to hear about the game. Great to see the coaches go 2-0 up on balls. We'll see if that continues over the course of the season, but expecting big things and hoping for big things for the rest of the season. So thanks a lot, Barlow.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Dave.